Ready?
Got it.
Okay, I'm Mauldin. I'm the program director for GCR.
Now I can't get to the other one.
Board member.
There we go.
I'm here. Support. It's basically the time of the year when we come to you all to talk about the federal funds that's coming to GCR.
No, she can't.
Actually, to the county. I know we're carrying out to all the municipalities. With the finding signs and going for area. Just before that,
Yes, ma'am.
just before, like 2 weeks ago, we finally got our numbers, actual numbers from US Department of Housing and Urban Development. But usually what we do is like work with the current number and just kind of see where things are. So we have the CDBG money and community development block grant, the home and emergency solutions grant. This year, we quite didn't get as much as we got last year in home money, but our CDBG money increased a little bit. So if you, what we talk about is we show you what it is. And what we do is take a look at what we're going to do with all this funding and basically address the different needs in the community. The annual action plan comes as a proposal, which we send to the US Department of Housing and Urban Development. And for this year, the fiscal year 2023 will start July 1 for this year and ends in the third year, 2024. And it's for the fourth year of our 5-year plan. We have a 5-year plan from 2020 to 2024. So next year will be the fifth and the final year, and then after that, we'll do another 5-year plan. And usually what comes with that is we do a needs assessment on housing, homelessness, community development, neighborhood revitalization. And just basically these funds are able to cover all those needs that we're talking about. I'll start with the community development block grants, and I'll say CDBG to continue. The CDBG funds basically consists several things you can think about, from housing to infrastructure to facility improvement, and actually small business loans, things that you can think about, public service activities. When you talk about using CDBG to address community development in terms of infrastructure improvement or facility improvement, you must make sure it's basically targeted to address benefits of low and moderate income families. And if you're talking about infrastructure linear improvement, most of the communities, especially the city of Mauldin and all the other municipalities, do not have what we call the qualified access track, that is low and moderate income. But however, what we'll have to do is do a survey, income survey. As long as 51% of those that will directly benefit of low and moderate income, we can use it to do street improvement, infrastructure, sidewalk, sanitary sewer lines, that it just goes on a facility improvement. You can also use it to address what we call slum and blight. If you have an area that's blighted or problematic property that is in need of, deteriorated and you want to demolish it, you can use CDBG funds to do that. And it also helps you to address what, urgent need. Just recently had COVID. The thing about the COVID period, the federal government was able to give us special funds to also address the needs. Housing, rental, utilities, food. But if we didn't have that, we can use CDBG funds to do that. The other findings that we'll talk about, the home funding. Home funding is home. Basically, your opportunity to increase affordable housing opportunities in local town. Home is very specific that you cannot have more than 80% of the area median income qualify for this. You can use it for new construction, rental, down payment assistance, rehab of your houses. So some of those pictures are one down, the second row, is some of the duplex houses we built in the city of Mauldin. These are 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And we made sure you can have household of 50% AMI to 120 AMI. So we use some other non-restricted funds to help us address those. The other fund, and I'm not gonna talk about in detail, is the emergency solutions fund, because that is countywide. That particular fund help us to address homelessness. We're able to help folks that are literally homeless. Either pay for deposit and rental, or folks at risk of homelessness, even eviction letter or things like that, so things. We also help homeless providers with the shelters and outreach program. So that's a funding that we're able to actually help folks in the city of Rainbow, because the city, being its own entitlement community, do not have access to that funds. So in terms of this public hearing, we are going to talk about the funds for Mauldin. And I gave a 3-year funding allocation that you can see, and I did, when I started, I said this year, the CDBG funds increased a little from last year, but not as much as the 2021. So your home, the CDBG funds, that's right, the PIs you see after the fund is the program income. So usually we invest in the funding if we have maybe rehab or things like that, and people are paying back. It comes back as program income back into the city. So total, the CDBG allocation is $256,000. Your program income has been steady at $16,000. Your home program income, as you can see, that a little lower than last year. Our home allocation was a slight drop from last year. But you're not going to feel a lot of the drop. You have about 68,203. And then you have program income of 18,000 plus, that gives you about 260,409 to city of Mauldin for projects and things like that. And then having conversation with the city manager and staff, we talked about projects that are going on in the city, we talked about infrastructure, things that need to be addressed. And the next will show you how the allocation is, and I can describe a little bit more. The home funds I use basically for housing. So we said new construction. We have 2 housing partners that have projects here, and I will show you pictures of those who site plans of those projects coming on. We've used it in the past, you see, or Ollie Place project, I know you can pronounce it better down here right now. And we used home funds from the city and some affordable housing for it. That's a special fund from Rainbow County Administration and giving us $1 million each year to help towards affordable housing. And then your CDBG funds that you have will set aside for infrastructure improvements, mainly the sidewalk that we talk about as well. You have 2 sub-recipients, that's like public service activities, Center for Community Services, trying to use some money to help anyone in need of utility assistance, just to prevent disconnection. So we're setting aside some money, and then the remainder of that is going to go to the senior program you have in the senior center. As a matter of fact, the senior center, we use CDBG funds to improve that building as well. So those are the kind of things that you can use with CDBG funds. And of course, facade improvement, we're setting aside $10,000 for that. So facade, we talk about a little bit more, is $5,000 for any business to help with exterior of their business. And then economic development loans are small business loans, give up to $25,000 for anybody, small business, new or starting up existing to help into your business. And feasible operating costs and things like that. And some of the businesses here in Mauldin used it as well. Okay, I talked about the CDBG funds used for infrastructure. I'm sure you're seeing yellow, blue, and green. I wonder what else that's the yellow section, actually, the 2 sides of a triangular sites that we use to build 9 duplex buildings. Because those properties have over 51% of our low mod in that particular neighborhood, we saw pictures of those. We are proposing to put together sidewalk improvement along that periphery of that section that will address, the sidewalk in our area. We can't use CDBG money past that section because that's, the subdivision is over income, they make more than 80%, so with other funding sources will have to be used for that. As well as the goal is to extend sidewalk improvement all the way, to the intersection. The CDBG money you have right now, set aside $98,000. You still have a little over $300,000 of CDBG funds that can be used in conjunction with the 2023 money to do that. And then potentially there's more when we do the things, we'll have to think about either saving up years or if the city has other funds that they don't add to it. So that's something to think about. Mercy Housing completed 46 housing units. They already occupied the right on East Butler Road. These are houses built partly with LIHTC, low-income housing tax credit from SC Housing. Those units were built on time and they're all occupied. They were fully occupied and people did it. They had it open. Income is up to 60% AMI, beautiful 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms, single to families, seniors. That's wonderful. They're also planning additional projects. They're starting all 3 projects. And they're going to build 88 units. In this particular case, it's going to be a spread of income. It's going to be from 30% AMI to 80% AMI. They just got the approval, final approval and letter from SC Housing to help build this. The thing about it is it can help families that are homeless. It can help families, permanent support housing. It can help families, individuals, veterans to families of 3-4 households. And the income is spread out. They have a great management process and then you go through the new ones, the one you just finished, and see how it's maintained. So most of the LIHTC projects have an overlay of responsibility. We all have oversight, SC has oversight as well. So the funding is heavily layered to make sure the projects are done. Well, the other warrants is built by NHE, it's Parkside and Buster Ward. Parkside Butler 2. Consider 2 sides of blue and green. The green section is Parkside and Butter Ward, that is 72 units. It's right behind the Sphinx. Construction is complete and pre-leasing looks wonderful. The same thing as the Mercy House, and we got tax credit. And those particular phase 1 is up to 60% AMI. The phase 2 is going to be 80 units and it's going to be a spread of low income average. 30% AMI all the way to 80% AMI. So that gives you a mix of demographics, a mix of people, and giving everybody access to affordable housing. See the pictures of those later on. So, it's the Parkside and the community center, the playground, apartments, beautiful. So they're going to replicate the same design. So 7288. This, I usually like to share our housing programs, unless we come out of where we do have those, or what we have. The first 2 is really partner financing, just like developers come to us to that financing projects, like the Mercy Housing and NHB. And GCRA also developed affordable housing. We did those 18 unit buildings. So that's there. And then we have first-time home buyers. Anybody looking to buy a house and need assistance with the deposit or closing costs can get up to, if you're 80% and below, you can get up to $10,000 through one of our partners that we give money. And in addition to the 80% and below, we also have money that is what we call over income, you're more than 80%, but 120 of the area. Greenville County right now for 2002, the numbers are not out for 23, sorry. The 2022 area median income 80,082 for Greenville County. This is a workforce housing. This is workforce housing. And when you're over 120, you get $5,000 towards your purchase of your house. Investment program was something we created when landlords were mom and pop with rental property, felt they don't have money or can't go to the bank to fix their rental properties. We provide about $25,000 that you can borrow at a very low interest rate to fix the apartments and make sure you don't transfer that cost to the tenants. We also have owner-occupied rehab and repair program. Two phases. The repair programs are for seniors or persons living with disability. We want to make sure you're able to age in place to provide up to $10,000, which is straight for the level grant loan. And then if it's more, you need more than that 10, the rest that you don't have to pay. And you're able to upgrade bathrooms, need a ramp and things like that. The rehab program provides $25,000 to families, very low interest rate. Calculation of the rate on tax to one person is up to $100 per month to make sure you preserve your home and maintain it. The two programs, the rental assistance, which is where we help folks that are literally homeless or at risk of homelessness. You have an eviction letter or things, our partners will walk through with you to pay your rent at that time or a month after. Or if you're literally homeless, we will help you with the deposit and subsequent rents. Try to focus for us when we go to the literally homeless, rapid housing, we focus on families with children. We don't want any family to live in a car with their children. We want to make sure you're able to be in a house and try to make sure you're in a place where your child still goes to school. So that's kind of not our program for the housing program. I could talk about community development, I talked about all that what you can do and no point repassionate and kind of show that before. The two public service programs I talked about, the senior program and the Center for Community Services. We recommended those funding for the city to adopt or approve those recommendations that we sent to you. Small business loan finance cut back $25,000. We're not a bank, we just want to make sure that you're able to employ, retain normal income person. Same as the facade prevent program as well. So in time for the public hearing, feel free to either email us through that public hearing at dcra.sc.org, call our office, have a question, you have concerns, we'd like to take comments from people, things that you want us to think about next, future areas of needs. We want to really, we like to take all the comments, we like to accept all the feedbacks and be able to see how we can further address the community. Really good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions, clarification? I was just wondering, what's the population homeless of students? Yes, I mean.
I don't have a number for students that are homeless, unfortunately, but we work with the school district, so they have a coordinator that contact us immediately, because parents will never say anything. But the students will tell the counselor, the teachers, And she does contact us and we, what we call the coordinated, continuum of care. Those are different agencies that help homelessness. So somebody definitely get a call and comes immediately, and it's all constantly changing, so there's no particular number that you say.
But that's federal money. I used to, when I worked in Georgia, I used to run a program, McKinney.
I kind of think so.
And I don't know how much people tap into that.
Um,
And how much is Greenville getting?
Greenville County for ESP funds, we don't get a lot, we get about $234,000, actually, but this year, $234,000. Well, it makes sure that part of that money, you have to set aside 60% of that towards the shelter providers addressing outreach and shelter. So we do that. So the remainder of it is towards the rapid rehousing and prevention program. And you know, I can tell you that consistently we've helped, usually with that little money, we're able to help. Last year, 50 to 100 families between the conventional and rapid housing. So we stretch it a lot with other partners. Thank you.
We have a long-standing good relationship with TPRA and our strategic placements of workforce housing. You'll notice that the duplex that you mentioned were on Old Middle and Willow Road. And then the Mauldin because we were corrected today, we did the ribbon cutting that most of us go by there and say Ollie Place. It is a Cherokee term, a leaky place, meaning the friendly place. So it's called perfect to your Mauldin, the friendly place to be. So that's pretty strategic placement there. And then with the apartments just on the other side of the 35. So thank you very much for all that you do as we address all of this. If there's no other questions, give us about 5 minutes and we'll be ready to start our regular scheduled March council meeting. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm waiting, waiting for the whole meeting.
You better hit the button green for them.
I'm gonna leave it out and all.
The easement. That's what he's forgotten. That's what he's in trouble. That's what he's doing. It's basically his project on that. What's actually sidewalk where this right used to be with guidelines. I think he's going to argue if it's a case. Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
Where is Cindy go? Turn on some fire. It's gonna warm up and cool down, warm up and cool down. I actually going to take off maybe Thursday and Friday and then up in trees. Yeah. Where did Cindy go? There she is. Oh, she made a comment. I figured that.
I think the reason it's not recorded is we're probably over our limit on the amount of store we're taking up. She goes and cleans them off.
Yeah.
But if she hasn't done it for a while, I feel.
It was this last time. Once it went to the full screen version, I was able to do it.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then just set that there.
I thought maybe, because I heard you say that, I thought maybe he just cleared some space off real quick, so.
I was going to, but then I realized I can't log in at the same time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't boot me out. Don't boot me out. I need to be on right now.
Oh, thank you so much.
Addie and I were talking about that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I know, I was like, where was this thing? Yeah. Love it. I like.
I was taking me off because she's passing out chords. I don't like going from one verse to the other with that chords.
I know it messes everybody up, especially when you couldn't see the things on the TV. The TVs weren't working either, and we were like, what is going on? Yeah. I know.
He didn't do the spray on some of our hearts.
You would.
You had to go home and learn.
I looked at Addie and said, see, we don't even work on the wall.
That's right. We can do this.
There you go. Right. Wait a minute.
Stuck on there.
I don't know. Or am I? Is it kryptonite? No. They stuck it to it. Oh, there it goes.
I thought somebody
Oh, man.
glued it on.
There you go. Luckily for me, where it needs to be.
I mean.
Yes, sir.
I will call to order our regular scheduled city council meeting, March 20th, 2023, approximately 7:30 p.m. Let the records reflect that Councilman Matney is here, Councilwoman King, and Councilmember Reynolds is here, along with our city administrator, Seth Duncan. And clerk to council, the one that keeps us all straight, is Cindy Miller. Along with legal counsel, John Newton, thank you, clerk. Various department heads of the legal out in the elders, we certainly appreciate you coming out, listening as we retain the business of the city. That's kind of a welcome, so welcome. Thank you everybody for being here. Tonight, regular scheduled prayer and pledge of allegiance with Mr. Craven, who is not with us, and Mr. Reynolds has graciously stepped up and offered to be those.
Thank you, Mayor. If you bow with me. Gracious Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the chance to come together to do the work of the city. I pray that you'll help us as servants, Lord, that you'll help us to be wise and courageous. in our work. I pray that you'll be with our members of public service, with our firefighters, with our police officers, and as well as our military board, that you'll protect them and keep them safe. I thank you for the presentation before council, Lord. We just recognize the blessing that you give and give us both personally and within our city limits, and we just recognize so many of our neighbors through the struggles, and I pray that you'll give us hearts of empathy to look for our neighbors, to lend a helping hand. Again, we just thank you for the many blessings, and ask that you be with us in this meeting. You're in my prayer. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please, tonight, nothing presentation.
Yes, sir. Tonight, first off, we have a presentation by KCI. So if y'all want to come on, step up to the podium. I'm not sure who we have from KCI, so there we go.
So my name is Elise Harris. I'm here with KCI Technologies. So over the past year, we've been doing a couple of stormwater assessments for the city of Mauldin. Thank you. Did y'all hear anything today or?
Yeah.
So today we're here to present the 6 stormwater projects that we've been doing over the past year for the city of Mauldin. So the first project, Bishop Heights Stormwater Assessment. This neighborhood is located off of Ashmore Bridge Road, the southwest portion of the city. A couple of the issues in this neighborhood included flooding issues, some conveyance systems in our own private property, and a couple of failing infrastructure. Next slide.
Yep, there we go. Sorry.
So this shows a couple of pictures that we took. The first thing that we did was go out and conduct a site visit for these projects. This is just a couple of pictures from that neighborhood and that site visit. So for this project, we looked at 3 different alternatives to relieve flooding in the neighborhood. The first alternative that we looked at was to upsize all of the existing stormwater conveyance. Alternative 2, we looked at putting in roadside ditches as well as driveway pipes to convey the stormwater. And lastly, we looked at a curb and gutter system through the neighborhood to convey the stormwater. Our recommendation was the curb and gutter system. Although this was the highest call, we had anticipated applying for a SCORE grant for this project and did apply for that SCORE grant. This project was not selected, but one of the other ones later in the slides were. But the curb and gutter system for this neighborhood is the most practical solution. And next slide, let's show you what that curb and gutter system through that neighborhood look like. Our next project that we looked at was the Mauldin Distribution Center. This area is located off of 276 in the northwest part of the city, and had similar issues of stormwater conveyance on private property, as well as flooding concerns. Again, this is some of the site pictures we took. It was raining that day, so you can kind of see some of the stormwater conveyance and use there. So we looked at 4 alternatives for this area. The first alternative again was to upsize the existing stormwater conveyance. Secondly, we looked at putting a bioswale as well as some small retention ponds closer to the Mauldin Distribution Center, and then rerouting some of the channels with pipes further upstream. Our third alternative was to do underground detention at the Philo site, which would require coordination with them. And then to put a detention pond on a vacant lot that was behind the neighborhood further downstream. Alternative 4 that we looked at was to purchase the 3 properties that were prone to flooding and restore those properties to a more natural state. Ultimately, that was the alternative that we recommended. As you can see, the 2 alternatives that included retention pond and bioswales They did not fully attenuate the storms, and they were upwards of $4 million each, which was just not reasonable for this area. Let's show those 3 properties that would be purchased. The next site we looked at was Harrison Plaza. The site is located off of South Main Street in the southwest portion of the city of Mauldin. Similar issues as some of the other ones, stormwater conveyance on private property, flooding concerns, and then 3 properties in particular that had flooding concerns. It also shows during one of the storms, some of the infrastructure in that area. So for this area, we looked at 3 different alternatives as well. The first being to upsize the existing stormwater conveyance. Alternative 2 would be to reroute the stormwater along Carlton Drive. And lastly would be to buy out the 3 properties that are prone to flooding. Our recommendation was alternative 3, buy out the 3 properties and restore to a more natural state. This was the only solution that allowed the city to not have to worry about stormwater conveyance on private property. Next one, so this shows those 3 properties which are lower down stream. And then this project would also include some coordination with Reebok to do some stream restoration in their sewer right away that had falls and traffic. The next project that we looked at was Holly Springs. This neighborhood is located off of East Butler Road in the southeast portion of the city. This project specifically had a failing pipe that was in one of the residents' backyards. It shows some of the pictures from that area. For this project, we looked at 3 different alternatives. The first would be to upsize the existing stormwater conveyance and replace it where it was. Second would be to reroute the stormwater conveyance in the right way, which gives the city the ability to put the stormwater conveyance in the right way and not have on private property. Alternative 3 would be to reroute along the property lines if we require the city to obtain easements. The alternative that we recommended was alternative 2 to reroute in the right of way, which allows the city to maintain their infrastructure in the right of way, and also was lower in cost than some of the other alternatives. And this shows the reroute of that stormwater along the right of way of the road. In the last neighborhood that you look at, this is the next to last, is Mauldin Drive. This is located off of 276 in the northwest part of the city. Some of the issues here included flooding on private property, specifically one property that's at the end of Edgewood Drive, along Mauldin Drive. It shows some of the pictures there during a rain event. So for this project, we looked at 4 different alternatives. The first alternative that we looked at was to install about 2,100 feet of curb and gutter along both sides of Edgewood Drive. Alternative 2 would be to crown about 300 feet of Edgewood Drive and install ditches as well as driveway pipes. The alternative 3 that we looked at would be to install trench grates along Edgewood Drive to capture stormwater. And alternative 4 would be to buy out the property. The alternative that we recommended was alternative 2, which was the cheapest alternative, which is to crown the road and put ditches along the road with driveway pipes. This allows the city again to keep their infrastructure in the right of way, and also is pretty minimal impact to the neighborhood in general. So this shows that alternative. The last project that we looked at is Oak Park Drive. This project is located off of East Butler Road in the eastern part of the city. Some of the issues here were flooding concerns with homes off of Oak Park Drive, large conveyances, pipes that were on private property, and in some cases filling pipes in people's backyards. This shows some of the pictures from that site. For this project, we looked at 3 different alternatives. For this one in particular, we broke it up into the upstream solutions and downstream solutions. For alternative one, the solution for upstream and downstream would be to upside the stormwater conveyance. Alternative two for upstream would be all-site stormwater detention within the city park. And downstream would be to run conveyance along Oak Park Drive, and behind a couple of the properties along Barrett Drive. Alternative three for upstream would be stream restoration within the city park. Downstream would be to reroute the stormwater through box culverts along Elkwood Street, where it would eventually discharge into the existing stream. For this alternative, we recommended alternative three, which included the stream restoration in the city, as well as a new box culvert that would discharge at the end of Elkwood Street. For this project, we did apply for a SOAR grant and we were awarded $1.16 million towards this project. So this slide here shows the breakdown of the total cost of all of those projects, as well as the grant award money. And that's all I had. If anyone has any questions.
Yes, we're all fast, took our breath away.
Five small price.
So we do appreciate the work and, I'm familiar with most of the ones you do that. And,
Gotten a little more familiar with the city over the past year, so. Appreciate y'all's time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So tonight we also have with us Michael Corley from the Coniston Nature Preserve to kind of give us a little bit of an update of what they're got going on out there and how they're just right down the road.
Yeah, thank you for making a little time for me tonight. I promise to be extraordinarily brief. I didn't realize that the Bohemian Pool was open. Now that I see that it is, I need to wrap this up so I can head on over there. But no, I can be brief today because the point I want to make is this simple one. My name is Michael Corley. I'm the director at Coniston Nature Preserve. I'm also a former member of the Mauldin Zoning Board of Appeals, which is a title that holds equal prestige. But my point that I want to make today is simple in that Coniston Nature Preserve wants to play a big role in the great things that are happening in Mauldin. I've been the director there for 2 years, and I think for too long, the perception was that we were a Greenville thing, or we want to be a Greenville thing. But yet, the brand new signs that point their way to the preserve are right out here at the main intersection of Mauldin. When we put our first ever billboard up last year, that billboard went up right over on Lawrence Road. We consider ourselves to be an integral part of the Mauldin community, and we want to continue to grow that role. Because 2 miles, I mapped it right before we came in here. 2 miles from where we are is that site, right? It's pretty remarkable that we have this amazing oasis just off the beaten path, surrounded by Mauldin Road, I-85, etc. And that nature preserve, that 600+ acre nature preserve, is staffed by a energetic and engaged nonprofit staff shown there. And we pride ourselves on the things that we offer to this community. And that starts with the natural world. Again, that to me looks like a lush scene from Florida or the coast of South Carolina. Truth be told, you could on a quiet day, you could hear traffic on I-85 from the spot where that picture was taken. Right now, if you aren't familiar with Coniston Nature Preserve, it's an absolutely gorgeous time to visit. All the babies are out. Everybody loves the babies. That includes baby deer, it includes plenty of other wildlife, everything is coming to life right now. You know, within a little small sort of quarter-mile, half-mile of the parking lot of the old Green River Stadium. More species of birds have been spotted in Constantine Nature Preserve, identified, than anywhere else in Greenville County. Right there, right beside the baseball fields, right? More species of birds than anywhere else in Greenville County. Only one location in all of the upstate where there's been more species of birds spotted. Right now, something exciting, if you can find time to come out there, is the heron, our heron nursery. Our herons within easy sight of our boardwalks are building their nests. Their little fuzzy babies are emerging and will quickly turn into larger, not so fuzzy, 4 foot tall, dinosaur-like creatures. It's amazing to watch and you can view it very easily. It's not just about the natural world. We have spent the better part of 20 years creating infrastructure for the public to enjoy. That includes over 15 miles of trails. It includes a new mountain biking course, it includes a new app so that if you've been out there before and you got lost, which is something that many people have experienced, and you have a cell phone, you should not have to experience that again. And in addition to that, great family destination. We're working on getting an accurate count, but feel safe in saying more than 150,000 visitors a year. Again, people drive by this place every day, don't realize it's here. We want to begin changing that as it relates to Mauldin City government. We have a lot of things for the residents here to enjoy. We have many things for the city of Mauldin to be able to tout. It's right here in their backyard, and that includes our education program. We employ 4 full-time educators, 6,000 kids coming to the preserve for field trips, after-school programs, summer camp for middle school students, all happening right here, truly in your backyard. And you know, it's not just all about learning. I enjoy having a little bit of fun, and sometimes we just have things that are a lot of fun, like our deer festival. That's the kind of thing that interests you. We do a lot of things at the preserve that can enhance the city of Mauldin. And the reason why I'm here is to introduce myself and say to you, we want to be a partner. We want to help with the direction. I'm incredibly impressed with the direction that Mauldin is going right now. I think that we, as your local natural oasis, have a big role to play in that. I'll leave you with one last thing that I think will be a new level of feature for this community, which is our nature playscape. I'm 41 now, so I feel like I'm old enough to say this expression, kids these days don't get into the woods, don't have a chance to explore in nature like I did growing up, like I'm sure many of us did growing up. The idea for the nature playscape is that it's an intentionally designed space is meant to recreate that experience of playing in the woods, exploring nature and learning. We've had over $200,000 investment in that amenity so far, and within the year, we expect to have that open and hopefully a keystone attraction for families inside Mauldin, and also a reason to bring people to Mauldin. So with that, I will just wrap up and thank you for your time, and say that I welcome any of you to come out and preserve, take a stroll anytime. We're always working to offer more and do more, and look forward to the bright future that we have here in this little corner of Greenville County. Thank you.
Please start proclamation presentations this evening. Next item is reading approval of minutes of city council meeting of February the 20th. Council, we have to read, is there any noted corrections, additions? If not, I would ask for unanimous consent on acceptance of the minutes. So moved. Okay, thank you, Mr. Manley. Is it second? Second, Ms. King. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Minutes are approved as submitted. Next item is our first public comment. This section is for public comment related to items on our agenda this evening. The ones that have signed up, I noticed, are for the good of the city, but there would be more for it coming to the latter part. The second comment area, so we will hold those. That's good, January to start this action. Good, hearing none, so we'll move on to the report from our city administrator. Mr.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just have a few items for council tonight and the public. First off, just want to let you know that staff recently learned that the city of Mauldin and Fountain Inn was approved for a $525,000 grant, which is split evenly between the two cities with additional monies for grant management. The approach was part of a regional initiative to address stormwater problems from neighboring watersheds. One key component of the stormwater master plan will be to identify and provide preliminary designs, cost estimates for stormwater master planning and to stormwater projects that, when implemented, will eliminate and minimize flooding in Mauldin and Fountain Inn. So a little bit more in depth than what we received tonight. We're excited about that. One municipality had to take the lead, and so the city of Mauldin will be that lead on that project. We are planning a kickoff meeting for later this month, and just a big special thank you to all those who've been involved in this project, both from the city of Mauldin and the city of Fountain Inn. Also, just want to let council and the public aware of the fact that WOW, a new internet service provider, is coming to our area. They have actually begun installing fiber optic cable and right of way throughout the city. WOW provides internet, streaming TV, and telecommunications services. WOW currently serves markets in 9 states, including the Charleston area here in South Carolina. We anticipate the installation process to take several months to complete, and we'll post weekly updates on our Facebook page to let residents know where they're out digging. Now, they are digging in the right of way, but of course that's on people's property. So it's that front little edge that people have. And also they try to leave door hangers. They're supposed to leave door hangers ahead of time. But we're going to do our best to make sure out on social media people are aware of that as well. And last item I have is just a reminder that the budget workshop, the next one, is scheduled for Thursday. That should be not May, but rather March 30th at 6 p.m. here at City Hall. And that's it.
Thank you very much for that good approach on our media, getting this word out. Who's digging in our neighborhood?
That's right. Yes, sir.
Man.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Young, is WOW, I know that you said that they're putting door hangers before they get there, but are they making sure that utility locates are done and that they're paying attention to irrigation systems in people's yards? Because I've had a couple of questions about that, with people nervous that their sprinklers are going to get popped, or some of their other communication lines, their phone, internet, whatever is going to
Absolutely.
get cut.
From what I've heard so far, they've had no issue using 811. They're supposed to give a minimum number of hours to do locates. That is to utility providers. Typically, an irrigation system wouldn't be marked the same way. So what we would encourage folks to do is that if they do have an irrigation system, maybe get some flags or to chalk out with white paint where their lines are, or just communicate with the crews when they're in their neighborhood. But there's not a surefire way to handle. They're supposed to be doing hand probing before they start doing any significant digging, but I can't say that's going to happen in every instance. Yeah, we'll try to do as best we can to communicate that to
Could we
folks.
suggest to the WOW folks that they, in their door knock, maybe make mention of those irrigation systems? Because I know I'm not in any of the affected area, but I have no idea where my sprinkler lines are.
Okay.
Where the heads are, but I don't know what the lines are.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. And we'll see if we can get a copy of that door hanger as well and see what information is conveyed on there as well about that.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Young, in the event that they do hit a sprinkler line, what is homeowner professions?
They should be working with the contractor there, and the contractor is responsible for fixing it. Now, they may be responsible by fixing it by having the homeowner submit receipts and a plumber's bill for it. But I can contact the WOW folks and get a better clarification on that and get that out to council and the public as well. You're welcome, sir.
Next is our report from standing committees, finance and policy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One quick announcement beforehand. If y'all, anyone here has not taken the chance to go to the Constantine Nation Reserve, so it is a truly unique facility, unique place, much like the city limits here. So I was thankful to have that. Michael, do a presentation for us, and it's a neat place to go hang out with the family. Nothing actually big other than the budget with Mr. Duncan already mentioned, going on with the Finance and Policy Committee, so I don't have anything in there, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Public safety, Ms. King.
I have nothing, Mr. Mayor, but, if we have the chief coming up for some presentation.
Can we have Christie Vickers come up? Chrissy's been here for about a year. She came after our victim advocate and administrative assistant retired. She came in and very much, very little training. So she saw out most of her own training. She's shown up with officers on calls to assist victims and things like that. What we do with the employee of the year, the command staff is the one who selects those. And this year it was a tie, so I'll give a second one here in just a minute. She's done so much in a year. She's came in and pretty much made it easy on everybody in the office. And she gets us where we need to go.
Thank you. Congratulations, Christy.
Thank you all so much.
All right, Jennifer's been here about a year also because our records clerk retired. And when she left, nobody really knew how to do her job, so we all jumped in. It was a group effort until we got Jennifer here. She came from Florida with experience, so she came in and reorganized and got everything going. And she does time cards, she does FOIAs, she files all the reports, and there's just so much that she does. Like I say, the command staff voted on the employees of the year. There was a tie between Jennifer and Christie. We couldn't break the tie. I mean, they're both assets for the whole police department and the city.
Congratulations, Jennifer.
Thank you.
James Madden. Thanks, so there you go. All right, so officers of the year is what we do is during the quarterly staff meetings, we the staff will pick a officer that is officer of the quarter, and then at the end of the year, we have the officers and everybody in the department vote for the officer of the year. And they vote out of those 4 people. This year it was pretty much Officer Madden, it was, like I say, he's done so much. He does the community events. He sets up national night out. He goes to all the hockey events where they need police officers as far as doing demonstrations and set things up. He was the driving force behind the Make-A-Wish Foundation presentation for Bennett, and also the parade for when he was going to the hospital. Also, he was promoted to sergeant staff.
Thank you. Other than that,
I think so.
maybe we can speak up.
And now that we know your real name.
Right.
James.
Weird.
Thank you.
I look my glasses tomorrow. Thank you.
Real quick, once again, I just want to thank all of y'all for your service. We don't see y'all on a daily basis, but please know that you are all so greatly appreciated for everything that you do for our city. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
We can.
Thank you. Public Works, Chairman Craven is not here, please. We got Mr. Reynolds, Mr. King, you want to go? Ms. King, you want to go ahead?
No, there was nothing that.
No, yeah, I'll play catch up for Mr. King. Miss King, I don't ask anything for public works. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King. Economic Plan Development, Mr. Mack.
We're good tonight, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Building Codes, Mr. Kuzner is not here, Mr. Mack, you got anything from her?
No report, Mayor.
Thanks, sir. Recreation, Mr. Allgood is not here, Mr. Mack, Mr. Russ.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rhodes. Unfinished business, we have none. New business ordinance first reading, we have none. Standing committee items, judicial or court payment, Ms. Clark.
Council is requested to approve in-courts payment processing services statement of work for online payment services for the judicial department.
Thank you, Ms. Rhodes, coming from public safety, Ms. King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make the motion for approval of the online payment processing service for our judicial funds.
Yeah, a motion, Ms. King, to a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Reynolds, any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, quickly, I'd just like to add, we always like to point out the financial impact to the city for any items that we're introducing, and this is an item that has no financial impact. There will be a service fee that will be charged for the users of the service, but the city does not have to pay a fee. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. King. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign, hearing none, the motion carries 4-0. DLDPC, Ms. Miller.
Council is requested to approve the GLDPC participation agreement for the repaving of the city's roadway inventory.
Okay, this will come from Public Works, so Mr. Reynolds or Ms. King.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve the GLDTC participation agreement for the repayment of the city's roadway inventory as listed in the documents provided per committee project number 600.01.
Mr. King, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Reynolds. Any discussion? Here's none. All those in favor of the motion to approve the GLDPC participation agreement for repayment to the roadway inventory, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries in that. Call for some copies of King.
Ms. Reynolds.
Ms. Miller. I'm going around today. Ready to work.
Council is requested to approve a contractual agreement with Dex Imaging for cultural center copier services.
Thank you for coming from finance, get this one correct, Mr. Reynolds.
Madam President, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, coming out of committee, the committee voted there were two options, so for the $318 per month option, but I'd like to make a motion that we add the culture center copier to the previous, that we accept the quote for the Dex Imaging for the co-terminus lease with the previously approved machines ending June 2025, piggybacking on Conoco and also South Carolina state contract, which we already have in place. This came out with the permanent option for $318, Mr. Wright. I think I covered everything in there.
All right, thank you, Mr. Reynolds. I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second from Ms. King. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the signing of a contractual agreement with representatives, we have a five-year service is going to a co-terminus lease. Please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries now. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Rudd. Next item would be a request to if council would consider a motion to consider the GCRA resolution via the informal method of the committee of the whole. I have a motion and a second, Ms. King. That's it. Mr. Matney, motion by Mr. Matney, second by Mr. King. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to accept the resolution as presented tonight by GCRA with the CDBG and home resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, the motion carries. Unanimous. All right, I believe that's the action items we had tonight. We now come to the public comment period, which is a citizen business owner who would like to say to the council, their public comment on anything for the good of the city. Thank the ones that have signed up to be here before. You know the rules. Have a light agenda tonight, so you can I don't know if it was 5 minutes or less, whatever you like to do. If the second person to speak was going to repeat it, you just want to say ditto, we can move right along. But take your time, whatever you'd like to say to this council. First one on the list, Mr. Rowley. Yes. You'll come forward, state your name and your address, please. Be sure the green button lights on the microphone.
The green is on. Green is on. You're good to go. Raleigh Lives, 104 Swinton. I just want to thank everyone here that's involved with the sidewalk. It's going to be taking place on Miller Road. The bridge, as we know, is a death trap. But it's going to be resolved, and I just want to thank everyone for your participation and doing the right thing. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Next was Mr. Nick. State your name and your address, please, for the record.
Thank you, Council. My name is Nick Machia. I'm the owner and operator of Distinctive Details at 212 North Main Street. And I'm here to just let you know that we do plan on submitting our counter offer to the city. This is, of course, about the city center. More specifically about the widening of Jenkins, adding a sidewalk and a turning lane. I just wanted the council members to know there's a very wide gap of the offer and what we have found that to be fair. So it took us, I want to apologize about the timeline. We wanted to get this done over a month ago, but we were waiting on information, which include the property value. Some of the things we have to take into consideration is the 12 feet that is needed is 10% of our property. And so we figure, pretty easy math there. Also, that my main entrance is going to be taken away. Big concern with that, as a new entrance will be further up in our parking lot. And as our customers come down, the only exit they'll have is going to be on the 276. And everybody knows it's very dangerous to enter 276 without that red light. We also have to consider the smaller footprint when they go to reselling our property. and the sellability and the price. So all of that has been considered in our counter offer that we'll give to y'all. And I just wanted to come tonight, you know, I did see that the GCRA and Mayor said that, hey, there's some infrastructure money there. I didn't know we could. That's on, you know, that's above my pay grade. So, anyway, a lot of people know that I've been there a long time. I've been very positive about the city center. I've been interviewed by media in the past. This has been going on for almost a decade. I've never bashed. I've always been positive. I've always said as long as the business owners are took care of. And there is a lot of concern about that now. We're told, stay as long as you want, no eminent domain. And eminent domain served a business owner in 2022. So I do have concern. In closing, I was just like each and every one of y'all. I think I have a successful business because I treat people fairly and I treat them like I want to be treated. And I would ask y'all to pretend that that's your property. That's your property. How would you feel? Because I don't know how many notices of offer that were given to us. But it was not nowhere near fair. I'll put it that way. I'm still positive about the city center. I think it's great for the city. And also know a reconditioning shop doesn't really fit into that. And I'm still fine as long as I'm compensated. You know, I've been there a long time. And I have a successful business. My app was to sell my business and retire, not to move my business at 61 years old. So I would like y'all to consider all of that when you're looking at our counter offer. And I just hope we can get all this resolved and put away because it's been very stressful. It's been stressful on me and my family. And this has been going on for a long time. You know, one thing I told Jeff, the guy with the DFT was that we've been talking about these townhomes for how many years? Do I really want to sell any or offer? You know, obviously this is going to go and happen. I don't know what time frame because it's been going on and on. And it's going to affect my business greatly. And I just want y'all to know that that's part of our counter offer. Like I said, I want to work with the city. I want to still have a positive attitude about the city center. But I do want to be compensated. I think every business owner, there's only a handful of business owners that have to be took care of, and that was my main concern. And it's been that way 10 years ago, and 5 years ago, and 3 years ago, and on and on. But thank you for your time.
Dr. McBeth.
Mr. Mayor. Walt McBell, owner and operator of McBell Animal Hospital, gateway to the city center. And want to say hello. I like being last. Sometimes we get things done. So Ms. Black, staff, Mr. Reynolds, counselor, and administrator, I appreciate y'all and diligence and listening to me last month. And apparently the stars were aligned last month because we've been able to reach an agreement that benefits the city and McBell Animal Hospital. We're gonna do a little horse trading. They go get a little property on Jenkins Street, and I'm gonna get a little property on Jenkins Court that's gonna allow me to stay in business and sleep at night. So I'm here to thank you, and we appreciate all y'all have done, and look forward to the city center. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McBeth.
Oh, by the way.
I withdraw.
With this little horse trade, y'all saved a couple $100,000. Okay, so take that into consideration when you consider my neighbor Nick. Still up.
Thank you, Dr. Bell.
And another.
Concludes those who signed up for our public comment. Keep forgetting to check if anyone online.
No, sir.
Raising their hand.
Not that I can tell. No, sir. We're good.
Right. Next item is council concerns. Here none, was the council pleasure of adjournment. So moved. Have a motion in a second. Second. Second, Mr. Reynolds, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Aye. 8:20.